Cryforth, once home to the most wondrous kingdom the world had ever known, blasted to nothing in just a fortnight. It is here that the fiends of hell walk among us. It is here where all things die. Welcome to Cryforth. Demon invaders roam the landscape and have conquered all. The world is a ravaged and wrathful wasteland, where the old world lies buried beneath the blood and sand with its gods and its secrets. Water is fought over with blood and steel. Compatible with the 5th edition of the world's oldest fantasy role-playing game, this book contains all new character creation options, including all of the familiar classes with new aspects befitting the ravaged wastelands of Cryforth, along with new backgrounds, subclasses, spells, feats, and so much more. New races will allow you to play as the cursed Ash Elves, the Forsaken Humans, the Primordial Incarnate, the Proud Orcs, the Reptilian Suri, or the Infernal-Blooded Tieflings. New game mechanics such as blood, grit, and effort give your games an intense focus on lethality and survival. Numerous role tables full of ideas to help bring your games to life. Featuring incredible thematic art by Brandish Gilhelm of Runehammer Games, as well as Lloyd Collins. The people of Cryforth are not heroes. In Cryforth it is courage just to survive. Will you rise to face the tide of demons, or will you succumb to the hostile elements? Available now on DriveThruRPG.com.
It's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is All That Glitters, a Waterdeep Dragon Heist campaign of epic proportions, of which I am not the Dungeon Master. It's this guy right over here, but we'll get to him in just a moment. Real quick, I want to welcome you, not introduce you, welcome you to the channel if it's your first time here, or welcome you back if you're returning. From any of our other shows, or you just like what we got going on here on Monday nights, welcome. We have up above V's head, we have a little thing called domain dice. The type is a little bit small. We're going to be revamping that real soon here. We've been making the domain dice be thematic to the campaign. So hopefully by next week, the domain dice will become domain dragons, as in those gold coins you see between Bevyn and Anna below the Masked Lord, Dungeon Master Mike. But in the meantime, 500 bits on Twitch, or a $5 donation on Twitch, or through the YouTube Super Chat, will purchase a domain die that allows the players to reroll 1d20 roll or force the DM to re-roll a d20 roll. So yeah, that's just a way you can sort of influence the fates in our games. One other thing I want to say, or tell you about rather, I'm going to drop a link in the chat. 1 week ago today, I released my first published adventure as part of a pack of adventures with the Arcane Library, Burling's Beard, and Sharang Biswas. It is called The Adventure Mixtape, a music and adventure anthology. In this book, you get 4 adventures, 80 pages of adventures, monsters, treasures, and even links to custom download music that a song custom created for each adventure that helps to set the tone. You get the Treaty of the Tiger King by the Arcane Library, which is filled with political intrigue and navigating a delicate treaty. Madness of the Majestic Menagerie by Burling's Beard, in which, aside from wonderful alliteration, you get to travel through an incredible zoo and figure out what's going on. And there's a really cool monster. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but there's a really cool custom monster in this adventure. Sharang Biswas, an award-winning adventure writer and game designer, has created the Infernal Collection, a murder mystery revolving around a fashion show set in the big city. So if you're running Waterdeep or similar type settings, this kind of adventure can fit nicely into the big city setting. And then finally, my adventure, Gorillas in Their Midst, is a pulp action adventure in the style of Indiana Jones and 1930s adventure radio, and it is very much a player killer. Just ask Dwight. I'll run him through it, and I will probably kill him or whatever character he brings into it. That's just the way it goes. And one last thing before I turn it over to our DM is Mini Terrain Domain. Oh, wait. Nope, I already put the link in there. Never mind. You can follow the link to Drive Through RPG to pick up the book. We are exclusively selling it there. Before I turn it over to Mike, Mini Terrain Domain is on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Mini Terrain Domain. And I'll just grab that link real quick. You can help support the channel. You can head over there, take a look at the rewards structures, and there's a full kind of roadmap of the kind of things I would like to do to expand the channel and be able to bring you even more awesome content. Okay, I think I managed to squeeze that into the shortest amount of time possible because I'm really eager to play this game. So let's turn it over to our DM, Mike the Piper.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining all of us this evening. And I can't wait to see all of these players' backup characters. It's going to be awesome. I mean, no, it's going to be great.
Wait a minute.
It's going to be great. Wait a minute. All right. Well, I've never been excited for a Monday before. So this is a new thing for me, and it feels pretty darn good. Where we last left off our characters, basically how we're going to do this, and if this is your first time coming into and watching this channel, or watching this campaign, excuse me, this entire campaign, or at least this half of the campaign, is done in the style of a bard that is telling a story to a noble. And he's recounting what has happened in the city of Waterdeep, this incident, this dragon heist. Although in the first session, the bard had a much cooler title, which I could not repeat now if my life depended on it. Don't believe me? Go check the first session. You'll know exactly what I mean. But unless the players have any questions for me before we begin, we're just going to dive right into it. All right.
Let's do it.
They accept their fate, and I'm okay with that. So, without further ado, let us begin Session 4, or Chapter 2 of Waterdeep Dragon Heist. The fire crackled in the background of this very large dining hall, although the dining hall itself is very much empty, save for two individuals. The noble leans over and looks the bard directly in the eye. And he says, so let me get this straight. This entire incident, this entire folly, all began with a tavern brawl. Isn't that a bit cliche? The bard looks and says, well, you see, these things do happen. And let us be honest, how many adventures have come from, more intimate arguments, as it were. You'll have to forgive me, my lord. I would love to continue, but my throat is a bit, yeah. And the Lord reaches over to the carafe to pour some more wine for the bard, and just a couple of drops kind of fall into the glass. And he looks. We get some more wine here. The bard. Well, anyway, you see, my lord, things are about to get a lot more interesting for these individuals. Now that they have saved the young Renair Neverember, and of course this nobody, Floon something or other. Now things seem to get very, very, forgive me, my lord, very interesting. And the Lord seems a little bit skeptical at first, and he kind of scrunches up his eyes. You know, there is one thing that confuses me, Bard. You speak of this tale as if you were there. And one thing I'm very confused about is how do you know all of these minute details? The bard just smiles. Well, my lord, you see, bards are very good at gaining information when it is needed. It is needed. I have gained the information, and now I am relaying it to you. And the Lord thumps on the table. Where is it? Volo snaps up. I'm sorry, Magister. What was that? Magistrate Kylan Silmerhelve looks down, her horns kind of raked back. Her red eyes are just focusing their redness solely on him. I said, where are these individuals who are purchasing this plot of land from you? Oh, they'll be here soon. The four of you are now at the door to Hilltop Court. This kind of small, very old building, brick and stone. Two wooden doors are ahead of you. As you walk up, you see Renair standing nervously, kind of pacing back and forth. He spots you and says, you're late, but that is okay. That is okay. We just need to get you inside so you can sign the proper paperwork and everything will be just fine. Will you follow me, please?
Absolutely.
Wonderful, wonderful. I do apologize for the mix-up in time. Don't worry, everything's going to be fine. Just keep things short and sweet. Magistrate Silmerhelve is not exactly someone you want to wax poetic with. And he goes to the two like beautiful inlaid dark wood doors and kind of opens them up. And you see a bunch of pews, not unlike kind of a small temple or church. And you see this magistrate, this tiefling woman, kind of white hair tied back into a very, very tight bun, and what looks to be two small, like almost like hairpins, done up like cross daggers through the back of her bun. She's wearing robes of Waterdeep colors, or at least the colors of Waterdeep, violet, like violets and blues and white. She is sitting in this kind of, I guess what would just be like a kind of a magistrate station or judge's bench. She kind of narrows her gaze, almost a laser focus, and you can't even tell which one of you she's focused on, but she seems to be staring at the lot of you. Are you the purveyors of this tavern? Is it it's a tavern? Are you the purveyors of this tavern?
Oh, that'd be us.
Right, step forward, please. And you can tell she's kind of like rustling through some paperwork. If you guys do step forward. Yes, here it is. Good. In the presence of this court of Waterdeep, I hereby pass judgment, relinquish control of Troll Skull Manor from Master Volothamp Gadam to the following individuals. Please sign here, here, and here. And she kind of hands the scroll or the deed to whoever, basically to the group of you, expecting one of you to take it.
So I'll reach out and grab it, sign the spots that are supposed to be signed.
And as you look it up, it looks like a standard kind of transference of property. I assume that, like many people, you don't just sign your name without at least giving it a quick skim. It is a very basic, it's very, very basic. It essentially says that, I, and you see Volothamp Gadarm's name written in very almost like calligraphy, just a beautiful signature, do hereby relinquish control of Troll Skull Manor in the, in the North Ward in Troll Skull Alley to the following, and you see a large line, large blank line for you guys to sign as you sign, and just a couple of other like little bits, nothing there that actually, is you don't see any hidden small fine print kind of a thing. As you sign, Magistrate Silverhelve looks at you and says, and which one of you will be paying the 25 gold transference fee? And she points at the four of you.
I just give some really dark side eye to Volo.
Well, yes. Well, there's a very small, and Renair kind of steps up and says, "That shall be me, magistrate." And he produces a small pouch of 25 gold, puts it on there. She actually kind of gives it a little jingle and sets it down. Right. Well, by the power vested in me, magistrate of Waterdeep, Castle Ward, Hilltop Court, the transference is complete. And she grabs what looks to be a perfectly carved stone sphere and basically just bangs it down once on a kind of a wooden, kind of like a wooden gavel, and basically sets it down onto like a small little plinth. And Volo steps forward and says, "Thank you. If I may address the court," "You may not, please. Next case." And the barrister stands up, and as I guess the six of you begin to walk out, you begin to hear a few people lodging some complaints against each other, typical like kind of small claims court. And you walk outside of Hilltop Court. If you guys have your interactive map, you can actually see Hillock Court is down by Waterdeep, Castle Waterdeep.
Where did you give us the link to that map? Because I can't find it.
Oh dear.
That was in the old chat from the last game.
I apologize for that, and I will rectify that
again. I dropped it in.
Thank you. Yeah, it's also sitting in the.
I will bookmark that immediately.
That would be a great idea. Here, do it twice.
Just one thing, Anna would not have signed the deed when it came to her. She just would have very quietly passed it on to the next person.
Oh, Six absolutely would have grabbed the pen without even reading it while Bevyn was reading it and would have been like, "What are you doing reading this? Are you kidding me? Voltham Gadar wants to give us a tavern? Give me the pen. I'm signing. You're signing. We're all signing." I will sign Anna's name.
All right.
She will like rip it out of your hand and cross it out and give you just this dark look.
Easy there. I only have 9 lives.
So it's begun. Volo stands looking at you all and says, "So, would you like to go and see your new home, as it were?"
I think we are all wishing we were already there. Please, lead the way. I can tell Anna is incredibly excited to see this place.
Excessively so. So you guys begin to walk, and it takes a little while to get there, probably approximately 20 minutes walking as you make your way down Waterdeep Way, turning the corner. Now, I'm going to ask, and this is going to be for a player thing, so just out of character for a moment. Megan and Dwight, do you guys, I know Dwight, you're wearing a beautiful set of headphones. Megan, are you wearing an earbud or earphones? Okay, can I get both of you guys to just take it out?
Oh.
I know, right? Secrets and lies. Can you hear me?
I knew one.
Dwight, you're incredibly handsome. Okay, you can't hear me. So Renair kind of pulls you, Kiara, and you, Six, back. Kind of as your walk, as Volo is kind of regaling both Bevyn and Anna with everything to do with Waterdeep and kind of pointing out little things here and there. Renair pulls you both back and he says, Kiara, Six, I was wondering, having seen the way you have all have acted and have kept yourself throughout this whole ordeal, I was wondering if, and you can say yes or no, it's completely fine, but would the two of you be interested in doing something more, being part of something larger than yourselves?
Well, I mean, much of that's going to depend on what exactly you had in mind for us, though.
I cannot say, but I simply would like to know if you would be interested in joining an organization that may benefit you, both of you, in some fashion.
You know, Kiara, it is not unusual for entertainers of my caliber to be recognized by talent scouts, for them to recognize the abilities that I have. So it should not come as a surprise that while you are in my company, your talents are being recognized. It is nothing to be worried about. I think we should at least see where this goes.
I agree.
Not to say that you don't have talents of your own,
Oh, darling, my
because
talents are already world renowned. Thank you very much.
So is that a yes?
I can tell you with the absolute certainty that it is a yes from 6 days until summer.
And you, Mistress Kiara?
Well, I'm not exactly in a position to turn down an offer of friendship at this point, and quite frankly, if it's something along the lines of what I think you're saying, I too am quite interested.
Wonderful. Then, please expect a paper bird from a friend this evening.
You certainly know a way to a tabaxi's heart.
Just make sure you read what's in it and don't play with it first.
I see what you're doing, but I accept.
And as you're walking, Volo. Wait, Dwight, put your headphones. You're good. You're good.
Wait, just Dwight or Dwight and Megan?
No. Megan's good too. Megan already put hers in.
Oh, okay.
So Volo is like walking and he's pointing out all the different like kind of areas and oh, this here, I remember this tavern well, well, at least the times that I have remembered. And as he keeps on walking and he's pointing out the different guild halls, and one thing he does mention to the four of you, he does mention that doing business within Waterdeep involves putting yourself into the guild's businesses, and he points out the guild of excuse me, the guild, like the Innkeepers Guild, which is this very large, very, very old looking, what used to look like it was an inn hundreds, if not even almost 1,000 years ago. This ancient, almost crumbly looking building. You see kind of what looks to be a quill, a mug of ale, and like a book with two crossed quills kind of like right underneath it, and it says Guild Hall of Innkeepers. He's pointing out all the different temples. You see a few of these standardized, like kind of the bog standard temples walking up, and you're walking up what's known as the High Road. This is kind of like a main thoroughfare. People are walking left and right, and it's very, very busy. He stops for a moment to point out the Order of the Sun Soul, the Monastery of the Sun. It's this huge building. Kind of looks like it looks kind of like a barrel shaped building with this extremely large golden sun affixed to the top of it. As you continue walking, eventually you get to the North Road, or excuse me, the North Ward, and you kind of go onto Delzoran Street, making your way, crossing up through Windborne Way. And then eventually you see kind of a group of tight-knit, very nice, like think of it as, I'm trying to think of a good, like real world, like brownstones, just a bunch of tightly packed, nice looking brownstone, like brownstone homes with like small gardens in the back and like little gardens in the front. As you make your way inside, you see kind of an area where it seems to be kind of a very upper middle class spot. You see a lot of very kind of like slightly well-to-do individuals. They're probably merchants, or at least they run businesses within Waterdeep. You see one building which it looks like a kind of like slightly larger than the other homes. It's a building. It has a sign, but there's no actual name on the sign. It's just a black kind of a signpost, but it's got two orange cat eyes affixed to the side of it. And you also see what looks to be another beautiful kind of home that's kind of grown up a little bit higher as well, but has this massive greenhouse over top. You also see a few other little shops and homes. The one with the greenhouse, it has one that's called, it says Corellian's Crown on the front of it. You see a few other shops and a few other nice to-do homes, people walking, greeting each other. And then finally, you come to what looks to be your new home. And it is a large 3-4 story home. Seems to be one of the biggest in the entire alley. And there is a turret in the front side. All the windows and doors have been kind of shuttered closed. A few of them have like some 2x4s nailed into the door frames, and most of the windows are boarded up and over. You see little bits of graffiti. Most of it is like terribly spelled, awful grammar of jokes about orcs and possibly trolls. But I'm not here to judge. Then there's also like bits of dirt and detritus kind of in the front of the place. The grass, what little there is overgrown, and Volo goes to the front steps, which is just basically like 3 steps into what looks to be kind of a tavern area, with a house seems to be like kind of placed on top. Welcome to Trollskull Manor. This is your new home. I hope you like it. I was going to keep it myself. It was for my new book, you see, Spectres and Spirits. This is going to be silly, but the place is reputedly to be haunted. I personally have never seen it, but that's just me. Anyway, here's the key. I do hope you enjoy yourself, and, well, if there's nothing else, ta-ta! And he begins to kind of meander away. Renair stops. Before Renair leaves, he kind of looks at the 4 of you. I had thought that one way that I would be able to thank you properly for saving my life. I still have a lot of pull in this city. If there's a noble or high-ranking official that I can set up a meeting for you with, I would be more than happy to assist. So if there is anything you need, do not hesitate to either send me a message or, well, anything. Thank you again, and I hope you're able to make something of this place. And he kind of taps on the on kind of like a little fence post that's there, and the fence post like actually like jerks forward, and he almost falls. And he kind of like stops and looks at you for and says, sorry, and then he begins to walk away unless you stop him.
Kiara is going to stop him.
Okay.
Thank you again for assisting us in this matter of procuring our new home. I appreciate you standing up for us there.
You're very welcome, Mistress Kiara. I thank you all. You've done me a great service, and I only hope that in time I can pay you back.
Lucky for us, we found each other then.
Indeed.
It would not be out of the question, I think, to once we are, up and running, to tell your friends to come to get to get drinks here, and to, well, I can guarantee you there will be some wonderful sword dancing performances in the near future.
Well, that sounds very interesting, Master
I hear
Bard.
Anna perhaps will be singing for us.
Oh, I did not know that you sang, Mistress Anna.
Neither did I. And she's looking at 6.
Each of us has a wonderful array of talents that we will bring to this establishment. We will make a name from... And then I turn to Bevyn We're not going to call it the Troll Skull Manor, are we?
Yes, what will you name your new establishment?
I'm not much one for names.
Oh.
Bevyn is just like not even in this conversation. He's just kind of looking everything over.
Well, it looks like nobody's lived here for a while, that's for sure.
Yeah, you can almost see some like steam coming off of his head because he's kind of feeling like we got hoodwinked somehow, not trusting this transaction.
Well, actually, if you would like to make an intelligence check, or at least an insight check, I can maybe alleviate any concern that Bevyn might have.
I will do that.
All right.
16.
Okay. So a little thing about the North Ward. The North Ward is an area of Waterdeep that is very much most of the nobility has villas in the North Ward. Not only that, many merchants and middle to upper class individuals have homes in the North Ward. This is an area where generally the poor and destitute not only don't come, but they're not quite allowed to go. So guard presence is a little bit higher. You see that like there's definitely a lower crime area. Another good thing, especially with a 16, you also know that because there are more upper scale shops here, there's very few taverns. So although, yes, it looks like a bag of smashed hammers, it can be done up very nicely, and it could probably make you a tidy profit if done right.
So Bevyn will have kind of walked around a little bit, and as the others walk, are the others still there, or have they started to move away yet?
Oh, is the front door open?
The front door is closed currently.
I mean, is it locked? I would have immediately tried the door.
It is locked.
Who has the key?
I just hand it to you as I continue to look around.
So yeah, as you're looking around, Six is opening the door and is already inside, whether or not anybody follows behind him. This is wonderful. The fireplace, we'll put some nice chairs here. And we'll move these tables got to move over here, and we'll get these clothes. It definitely needs to be clean. Oh, over here will be the VIP lounge. And you just kind of hear his voice trailing off as Six clearly sees the potential in this place and not what it really is in its current state.
And all of you see basically like the only residents now of this area are cobwebs. You can see a lot of like broken furniture, and you see a lot of like cracked plates and tarnished silverware and cobwebs. You see a lot of like you can also smell the very pungent acrid scent of vinegar, as many of the casks that are in there have now definitely turned, which is really unfortunate because, especially if you're a lover of wine, that's just a shame.
Anna, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Anna steps in and immediately screams. There's blood everywhere here. Don't you see it? Bev, don't you see there's blood? There's blood everywhere. And she's looking and she's pointing just everywhere, and her back is against the door.
So Bevyn's going to run over to her, kind of shocked at the way she's acting, not having seen her act this way before. Anna, There's no blood. What's the matter?
What you talking about, Bev? It's everywhere.
There's no blood. 6, Kiara.
I'm.
You see any blood? I don't see any blood.
I'm immediately going to smell for blood. I don't see any blood, I assume, but with the way Anna is, I'm immediately kind of anywhere it looks like she's kind of pointing at or gesturing towards. I'm kind of.
Yeah, sure. Make me a make me a perception check.
Yeah,
While he's doing that, I'm going to cast light right away to put more light in the room.
Oh, I just get proficiency in it. It's Cat's talent. Are you freaking kidding me? That was a 20. It's a 2 now, so that's a 5.
All right. Yeah. No. I mean, the again, the scent of that acrid, like horribly turned wine is really hitting you in the face.
I think all the dust too is causing 6 to do that kind of for the essence he puts out. They're very feline, almost adorable sneezes.
You want a hug?
I can't be her. I thought I could. I thought I could do it. I thought it was. I can't. I'm sorry. And Anna would hightail it out away.
All right.
I'd go running after her.
So I'm going to immediately turn in and just start looking around to try and figure out, see if I can see anything about what the hell's going on in this place.
Sure. As you, if you want to make an investigation check, go for it.
11.
Okay. Other than, the dirt and the cobwebs and everything else, you don't really see too much. You kind of see that something might have happened here, just with the way that you've been in fights before. You know how the game is played, especially in a tavern or in something else. It looks like there might have been maybe a fight here, just with the way that some of the chairs and tables have been kind of thrown to one side, the way that some of the plates have been broken. It just seems kind of a bit weird. You notice that the bar, which is probably the least dirty of the entire place, as the previous owner must have cleaned it very regularly, although is still dull. You see at least one handprint that seems to be kind of fresh on the bar top, and that's kind of what you see.
All right, so I'm just going to turn and head out to go find Anna.
Okay. What about you, 6?
I think 6 would linger just a little bit longer. Probably as Bevyn was looking around, I move around behind the counter, the bar, and kind of move back into the kitchen area. Just looking in a little further.
Okay. So as you kind of wander around and take a look, you see, again, the kitchenware, a small fire or a small stove at least, a pot hanging off it. It's actually clean. So it's not that bad. And you see a few utensils, kind of like put away very properly. As far as the bar, you see a door or see a small trap door in the bar area. A few rats kind of skitter around, harmless ones, not the large level one, go fight these things for experience kind of rats. But they kind of, they just kind of skitter off as soon as you kind of get behind there. The smell is very pungent now as you get closer and in behind the bar, especially when you see the kind of casks that are kind of like aligned on the back end of the bar top. You also get the smell of like curdled beer that really like, I think you all know. And you see that a couple of the casks have been leaking. As you kind of finish up and you feel like you're ready to leave, you kind of get a knock at the doorway, and you see a young, well, not really young, I'd say probably slightly, a slightly kind of older looking halfling, but it's tough to tell because they look like kids. They do. They look like small, adorable children with large, hairy feet. You see, he kind of enters in, says, well, good day. Are you the proprietor of this establishment?
I look around and realize I'm in here all by myself. And for a moment, I'm like waiting for Bevyn to speak up, who seems to be the one to kind of speak for us. And then I look at this halfling gentleman, it was.
Yep.
And I just kind of stand behind the bar. I put my hands on the bar and kind of puff out my chest a little bit. As a matter of fact, yes, I am. Welcome to... No, I think back to what Kiara said when we first got here, and she said it doesn't look like anybody's. In fact, she said nobody's here. Welcome to Nobody's Inn. I am 6. What can I do for you?
Well, you look a little bit older than 6. That's fine. His bushy eyebrows look like 2 like big caterpillars are kind of like twitching back and forth. Now he's kind of stroking his like kind of like huge mutton chop beard, and he says, "Well, my name is Broxley Fairkettle. I am the guildmaster of the Fellowship of Innkeepers. I'm here to tell you that congratulations. This is a beautiful place, and I must say has quite a history. Some bad, but mostly good. I hope I'm not catching you at a bad time, but just here to say hello. And now that I've heard that you've is it just you? Because I heard it was about 4 you folk.
Well, this is true. It was Master Fairkettle, was it?
It is Master Fairkettle.
As I said, I am 6 days into summer. My associates, they are dealing with the shock of coming into owning such a wonderful place. They will be along in no time at all.
Is that right? Well, if you don't mind, I'll just pull up a chair and have a seat. That's all right with you? And you see him kind of walk over and kind of pulls a chair out and like just kind of scraping it against the wooden floor, and kind of hops up and has a seat. Well, if you can find any more chairs that aren't busted all to pieces, have a seat and we'll wait for them.
And I guess at this point, I'll just start looking for a seat.
And then we're going to take it right to Kiara, Bevyn, and Anna. Anna, what is going through your head as you run out?
Right now, Anna just wants to get away. She is trying to push out the memories from her mind, and she feels tears against her eyes, which is the worst thing that she can be doing ever is cry. And so I think right now she does not want to be found. She doesn't want to talk to anyone. She just needs some time to be alone. So I think she would actively try and kind of dodge out of sight from Kiara and Bevyn.
So you're going to attempt to hide from them?
Yes.
Well, make me a stealth check. I was about to say make me a hide check, and it's like, that's a wrong system, Mike.
I got a 26.
Dang. All right. You guys are clearly trying to look for her, so make me an investigation check. Good luck.
14. I don't think I could hit a 26.
I've seen
Okay.
nothing with that, I'm not. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
That's all right, Jaina Snow. You tried. So, as the both of you go out, you don't see Anna at all.
So as Bevyn gets out and he's going to look around and just immediately he sees, okay, Anna doesn't want to be found. He's worked with her enough. He knows. So he turns to Kiara. We're not going to find her. She'll come back when she's ready.
You've never seen her do that before, though.
Not like that, no. She's pretty level-headed. I don't know what got into her.
Well,
What?
whatever it was, it scared the living daylights out of her.
Scared the daylights out of me.
Well, hopefully she shows up soon, but I guess we'll just give her space for a little bit.
She'll be back when she's ready.
All right.
So
Well, I suppose we should go back in and give the place a once-over, shouldn't we?
might as well.
All right.
So head back inside.
Okay. So as you come back inside, you see a small, a stout halfling, large kind of mutton chops, and he kind of has a pipe that he is actually now kind of lit up and is smoking, and you see him kind of looking at Six, who is sitting on most of a chair that hasn't been broken. Oh no, are these your friends here?
Absolutely. Allow me to introduce my associates. This here is Kiara, and this is Bevyn. Bevyn and Kiara, and I'm kind of looking for Anna, but I don't say anything. This here is Guildmaster Broxley Fairkettle. He has come to pay us a visit.
I have. Now, I've heard that you now own this place, and congratulations for that. Never thought Vola would ever want to sell this place. It's quite a nice bit of property, if you don't mind my asking. You been up to the upstairs inside the manor house yet? It's quite nice. Anyway, I'm here to let you all know that if you wish to open this place as a place of business, I do ask that you do join the Fellowship of Innkeepers. We are a guild hall, and pretty much, most folk are members. Those that aren't, let's just say that we all look out for each other, if you catching my drift. And I'd very much like it that you folk would become proud members of the Fellowship of Innkeepers. You'd be quite surprised at the things that we do to help each other out. Besides, it looks to me like you could use all the help you can get trying to get this place back to some sort of a tavern-y sort of recognition. Right now, it doesn't look more like a place to store your garbage.
So Bevyn's just staring a hole through the sky. We've been here not 5 minutes. You're already shaking us down.
No. I'm not shaking you down, nothing at all. I'm just saying that if you wish to apply for a business license, to open this place up, there are a few things that you do need to understand. One, everyone here in Waterdeep works for some sort of a guild. After all, there's only two things I know travel fastest in here in this beautiful city of splendors. One is rumor, no surprise there, and two is bureaucratic red tape. Matter of fact, I think the bureaucratic red tape was probably invented just before the sword and the plow. That's just me. So if there are some things that you wish to do, as far as selling ale and selling wine and all that other bits, selling food, you're going to need the help of most of the members of the guild. Now, as it does, your guild membership not only provides employment for lots of folk here in Waterdeep, but it also allows us to make sure that we can take care of you. So, you want your meat on time? You pay the guild butchers. You need bakery? Guild of bakers. You want to fix this place up? Well, that would be the guild of carpenters and all that. You want to sell beer and wine and all that? Well, yeah, you'll have to be talking to Mr. Hammond Craddock, guild master of the vintners and distillers and brewers. Everyone here works together, and we all look out for each other. It's not a shakedown, Mr. Bevyn, was it?
That'll do for now.
All right. Basically, what he is come be a part of something big. Something more than yourself, I guess, would be. And you want to make this place the nicest tavern in all the North Ward? Well, I would like that very much. I'd like to even stop in, have myself a pint or two. And don't worry, this isn't something looking for a free drink. I respect all those who wish to get into tavern keeping and innkeeping, so I definitely would like to pay my fair share. And if you make this place look a lot better than it is now, I can almost guarantee that you're going to get yourself quite a bit of clientele. There's good people here, especially in the North Ward, and the fact that you were able to get yourself a home here, well, that's quite a bit of luck. Most folk wait years to try and get themselves a home in the North, but you seem to have done it in just a few days. Congrats on that one.
Well, we're quite fortunate that you found us and you gave us some very important information for making sure our business is going to be something of a success then.
Indeed, almost seems kind of convenient, but that's just me. And he kind of hops down off of the chair, noticing now that some of you are sitting down and some of you are standing up. Those that are sitting down, you can almost, he's still looking into your shoulder. He's a rather short halfling. Well, I wish you all good day and good luck. I will say that, give me 1 second, because I need to find my notes because I'm a goober. One person you're going to want to find is the Guild of Carpenters and Roofers. And I got 10 bajillion notes. Give me 1 second here. Yep. This feller's name is Mitchum. He's a good lad. He's with the Guild of Carpenters and whatnot. You're also going to want to talk to Greg Stonefist. He's the Guild of Cellars and Plumbers. You'll have your pipes working so well, won't even know what to do with them. Who else is there? Oh, there's Mira Vanillin. Oh, she's a nice lass. She's part of the Bakers Guild. She's quite nice. And who else? Well, if there's anything else you need, I'm sure you can find out on your own who you'd like to talk to. And yeah, wish you all the best of luck. And I hope to come back in here at some point in time where the vinegar is a bit more appetizing, if you know what I mean. You all have yourselves a wonderful day.
Thank you, Mr. Fairkettle, for stopping by.
You're very welcome. And if you need anything, You know where our guild hall is. Just come in and ask for me. I'll be glad to answer any questions or help you out in any way I can.
It's much appreciated.
All right. All the blessings to you. And he kind of hops off and wanders away.
So I'm gonna turn to my companions here, and I probably shouldn't do the talking with these guilds. I'm not one for honest work.
Bevyn, when it comes to your social demeanor, you have what my mother always referred to as a face for newspaper.
Well said, my cut friend.
Well, perhaps in time you'll be lucky enough to learn how to interact a little bit better. But yes, for now, probably best that one of the others speak for you instead for now.
One thing we are certainly going to need to do. I mean, look at this place. And all those guild people he was talking about. The sellers and plumbers and the roofers and carpenters and the bakers guild and the vintners and
the list will go on and on.
We're going to need some money. Which reminds me, I still have to give you, I have to give everybody their share, but of what we got from selling that, from what we got from selling that stuff earlier. But before we can divvy this up, where is Anna? But she took off out of here in such a state, and I thought you would bring her back with you.
Anna doesn't want us to find her yet.
She's made herself rather scarce.
You know, this place has, 2 or 3 more floors above this place. Maybe she would be okay up there. I should go try to find her. And I'm going to go outside. And I'm going to walk down the steps, and I'm literally going to look around and go, Anna! Anna!
Legit.
I'm a cat calling for my human.
That's fair.
Or my half elf. For my half elf.
As you look around, you don't see Anna. I'm assuming he doesn't see Anna, right, Anna? No. You stealth your way into a totally different plane of existence. As you kind of look around, you kind of start walking around to kind of the other main street. You actually see a set of stairs that kind of go up to what looks to be a second floor on the side. Looks like to be a side entrance into the main part of the house. And the key that you had, you see 2 keys on the on this little ring.
So the stairs go up to the second floor?
Yeah, and it looks to be like kind of a main front door. Very like simple maple, like kind of a dark stained maple door. That looks to be some kind of a very a nice but relatively plain kind of stained glass little half circle in the top of the door. It's very like dark, like you can't really see through the stained glass so much. So it's, but you can tell that there's different colors. The stairs seem secure. They seem like they're in good shape. Yeah, that's basically what you see.
I will try the key in the door.
Okay. I will give one.
Uh-oh.
I know, right? Give me a second here while I roll a d20 for like no reason. Interesting. Okay. So what are you going to do? What was that you're going to do again? 6?
Putting the key in the door?
All right. You still got that backup character, right?
Always. I've got 9 lives.
All right. Well, the first key doesn't seem to work. Seems to, and then you realize that's that must be the tavern door key. As you switch to the next one, and the door, of course, which hasn't been Faerun WD-40'd, kind of like opens up in this kind of, and you look to see, when you're looking in, it looks like a common room, kind of like a meeting room. You see a few bits of like kind of like divans, a couple of divans, a love seat, kind of a chair. Most of it is draped in. Yep.
What is a divan?
A divan's a type of couch.
Oh,
like,
sorry, my mind wasn't thinking there.
Okay.
I totally have you now. It's like my grandma used to always call it a Davenport.
Oh, well, there you go. And we don't call it a Chesterfield anymore. We call it a couch too. So,
Okay, sorry. I'm like,
okay.
I see divans. What are divans? Are they related to Bevyn?
They're tiny creatures.
I was having a dread gazebo moment.
They have a plus 16 to initiative, and they hit for 7d50.
How many divans are there? I draw my rapier.
There's 9 of them. Good luck.
I attack the divans.
All right.
No, okay.
I walk in on a cat just trashing our furniture. Just
I will gently, as I'm walking around the room, gently run my hands across this furniture, my claws coming out just a little bit, but realizing this is my home, I probably shouldn't scratch them up.
Oh, that's a good idea. Okay. So we're actually going to put you on hold. Anna, you are away for a moment. And as you kind of steal yourself away and you're walking down, that uncomfortable image kind of still in your head. You hear this and then kind of a pause. And then again, and then you begin to hear a hammer, like hammering, like beating on this piece of metal. As you kind of turn a corner and you look, you see a very interesting sight. You see an individual, kind of a large fellow, tall, the kind of shock red hair, but kind of dreadlocked and pulled into a tight bun. He's very muscular, holding a hammer and gripping a white hot piece of steel in his bare hand. He's hammering down on this, and as he's hammering, as soon as he's about to like, as soon as he stops, he grabs this blade, kind of holds it in like at the anvil, and this other individual kind of picks up, like kind of moves his hand very subtly, and you see him kind of like almost like in a martial arts way, like he kind of holds up and begins to like move water, begins to float out of the bucket and begin to kind of wrap around the blade, quenching it, and you just see this hiss burst out, and then as he comes back and lifts his hand again, kind of puts the water back into the bucket, and the one individual with the shock red hair kind of nods his head. The other individual has this kind of almost like teal greenish hair, and his skin seems very it seems like it could be sweat, but he just seems like very he just seems wet. And his skin kind of has like this kind of like a light, almost bluish tinge. The individual kind of locks eyes with you for a moment and grunts and kind of points his head in your direction. The individual with the kind of greenish hair turns around. Oh, hello. I'm sorry. We're just busy trying to get this sword ready for some uppity noble. How can I help you today?
That thing you were doing there with the water, so cool.
Oh yes, well it's this thing that I can do. Oh me, one of my ancestors was from the plane of water and met my great I don't even know mother. And anyway, I'm terribly sorry. My name is Avi. This is my husband, Embrick. We own this place as Steam and Steel. We do all sorts of things. If you need it made out of metal, I'm trying to figure out some sort of a slogan or something. But are you just here shopping, or do you?
Well, actually, and she kind of points down the way where she came from. My friends and I, we just bought a tavern.
And Embrick, who Avi had pointed out to, like just drops. Like he hears clang. You what then?
Oh, well, we didn't buy it. We got it from and anyway, perhaps you have something that we can, taverns, they have all these things you can put up on the wall and such. She's kind of also like looking at the place as she's coming closer. Is there like a shop in there? Do they have things that are up kind of on display?
What do you mean, dear? You mean weapons? Arms? We usually make things to order. If you'd like daggers or a sword or an axe, we do shields. Don't know. Do you seem like a buckler type? Small shield, fast. Can use it as a punching weapon. Is that the sort of thing you would like?
Maybe, yeah. We're just looking around trying to get to know people here.
Oh, yes, of course. One thing that we do have, we don't just make weapons, we also make common tools that you'll need, hammers, nails. We can, you know what? Hang on a minute. Are you going to fix up the tavern?
Yes.
Oh, that's lovely. Embrick and I used to go in every lunchtime. Liff would always make us something. Oh, I'm sorry. Liff was the previous owner. Oh, something tragic happened to him. That was terrible. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was a robbery gone wrong, or maybe he just upset the wrong people. But they found him right in the middle of the bar, and he was all stabbed up. It was terrible. It was very
So
tragic.
you were talking about tools.
Oh, yes. Saws, hammers, nails, files. Now, if you're going to get the place fixed up, do understand that, the guild will mostly supply their own things. Oh, to fix that place up, I can't imagine how much it's going to cost. Oh, yeah, you might do well to speak to the guild master of the Carpenters Guild, but it's not going to be cheap, that's for certain. Embrick, how much do you think? And Embrick kind of thinks for a second. If I were to hazard a guess, fixing up Troll Skull probably cost you about 1,000 gold. If I were to put it up, right up. But tell you what we'll do. You seem like a nice young lady. All right, we'll sell it. We'll throw in some nails. Why don't we we'll throw in a few tools as well. You could probably sweet talk the guild master down to I'd say 850 if you were lucky. I mean, it'd be one hell of a persuasion roll. But I had to. I just had. I'm like, no, I haven't touched that fourth wall in like at least a day. So, yeah, I'd say if you could probably sweet talk them down to about 850, and that'd be good for you. Now, that's of course not including all the guild prices as well. Running a tavern isn't cheap. Yeah, probably gonna cost you around I don't know, 250 straight up front for all the guild memberships that you've got to be parts of, and probably 60 a 10-day. On a just out of character note, a 10-day is a week. Each week in Faerun is broken up into 3 days or 3 10 days or a 10-day. And now you know something. Right, well, that's about all we can muster. Tell you what we'll do, Avi. Why don't you go grab a few boxes of nails, bring it round to him. I'm gonna finish up this sword for I don't know, Baron Mucky Muck Von Feather Arse or something. And he goes and he reaches into the fire, grabs the blade again, and goes back to hammering it. And so Avi goes in and grabs like a few boxes of nails. Come on, let's go back. And he starts kind of walking towards you.
She kind of looks, I'm not the person to be talking to about this. Can we come back and talk to you about all this rubbish with the guilds?
Oh, yes, if you like. You sure you don't want me to come back with you? I can bring these boxes of nails and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm sure, yeah. Thanks.
As he goes and he grabs the 2 boxes of nails and puts them back, and he turns, and before you can walk away, he kind of places a hand on your shoulder. Well, I do hope that at some point you could face whatever it is that is hurting you and become stronger for it. If you ever need to talk to me, you can always come back here. I put on a very good pot of tea. So I hope that maybe you can join us for one.
What are you talking about, old man? I'm fine. Leave me alone. And she would turn away and just kind of huff off.
Okay.
Giving him whatever would be akin to the bird.
Wow, fair enough. And he kind of shakes his head and goes back, and actually this is where we're just going to take a little break.
Well, there goes our free nails. Thanks, Anna.
I know, right? I know.
We don't know. We don't have any clue why it's going to cost us $1,500 to fix the inn.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you just pissed off like the only smith in the entire alley. So yeah, now it's like $5,000. But no, I'm just kidding. But yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, everyone who's watching, hope you're having a great time. We'll just be back in about 5 to 7 minutes. So yeah. Leave it to all these awesome people to plug their stuff. Do plug, and stuff and things. Okay, I'm out of here.
Yeah, we're gonna
plug and stuff and things. That's a new one.
We'll pop up a break screen here in a minute, and then I think on the tail end of the break, we can, as we come out of it, we can plug our stuff. That way, those of us that have to use bio breaks, like the producer, can just go ahead and put the break thing on. So we will leave you with some lovely music while we take a break, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
And you take a break too. Why not? Come back. We'll see you in a minute. Pickles.
It helps if you unmute it. I wish the music would like fade in instead of just suddenly stopping. And we're back. So I think Mike wanted us to plug something.
Yeah, you know, opportunity to plug really quickly plug stuff that you want to plug.
I'm going to do something really uncharacteristic. I'm going to make this short and sweet. I'm Mini Terrain Domain, or rather, I'm Jake from Mini Terrain Domain. This is my channel. And if you're here, you already know about it. So subscribe and all that good stuff. And let's let everybody else go, because I'll do more at the end as well.
Me? Okay. So, hi, I'm V. I have the YouTube channel, The Crafting Muse, where I show you how to make terrain, scatter, paint minis, and other fun things like that. Also very active on Twitter, so if you want to find me over there, you can. I got lots of stuff going on there. And this weekend, I am getting ready to head off to Mace, where I am going to be there with Scotty and Wylock, also big crafters on the YouTube world. And we're there basically to meet and greet and play some games and have some fun. So if you're in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, please stop on by and see us. We'd love to have you there. That's it for me for now.
All right, this is my turn. I am Dwight, the big bearded nerd, or one of two, but that's my Twitter handle. But yeah, come check me out there. I will be launching some stuff on Twitch in the not too distant future. I had to put some delays on it because of technical difficulties in my home office, but going to be doing that soon. So follow me here and you'll get more information on that. And if you're in the US, go vote tomorrow.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Megan. I am one half of the YouTube channel Dice on Ice. And that's it. Let's play.
You just even out of character, Megan is trying to outdo me for the shortest plug.
Yep. And not surprising, Megan wins. Okay. The going back to the Nobody's Inn, by the way, puns are going to get you some big points on that one. As you lot are sitting, looking around at this place, what are the three of you talking about right now?
Well, I imagine I would have run downstairs. Well, Six probably would have taken a quick run through all the rooms in the living quarters, and then would run downstairs and grab the others and say, "Do you realize that we have more floors above us? That's where we can live. There are so many rooms and fireplaces and furnitures and something called a divan, a couple of divans."
So I'll just kind of nod and
try to contain your excitement, Bevyn.
I just shake my head and follow the cat upstairs.
Do you not realize that this entire house, where yesterday we were all drinking together in the inn, and I don't know about you, but I didn't really have a home of my own. And now we have a home and a business that is all ours. And we only had to pay, well, we didn't have to pay anything. Volo paid the 25 gold pieces for the signing of the papers. Free and clear. This is all ours.
Understand your excitement, friend. There's a lot of work to be done, though.
Oh. We can do a lot of this ourselves. Watch this. And I'll go to like one little table and just kind of wave my hand over it and do a little bit of prestidigitation. And I basically, through the casting of prestidigitation, clean like 1 square foot of dust.
So are you going to do that all day and night to get this whole place taken care of?
I'm not going to do it by myself.
Yes, well, look at this. And I'm going to take my cloak and kind of do the same thing on a different table.
But look at how good this looks. It was all dusty and dingy, and now there's shiny wood underneath.
It definitely has potential, but it's definitely going to take some elbow grease as well as some funds. That's for sure.
And as you guys kind of walk into the common room, you see like a window, well, mostly boarded up. You see a couple of doors, one to your left, one to your right. You see a large fireplace, but you can actually look through the fireplace into what looks to be a larger room with part of the turret kind of like floor kind of opened up into one of those things that I can't remember that's all full of windows. It's like a bay window, I think. Yeah, bay window. And you can kind of see a little bit of light trickling in through some of the boarded windows into that area.
How big is the fireplace opening?
I would say that it's kind of just big enough for a human to very uncomfortably crawl through.
But a dexterous tabaxi could easily move through from one side to the other.
You definitely could, but don't expect your clothes to not get full of old soot.
Oh, I don't care about that. I'm absolutely walking through the fireplace. This is incredible. And I will use prestidigitation to clean my clothes.
As you do. So as you walk into what this looks to be kind of an old study, or it could have been in like basically a den, you see kind of a door, a small door that leads onto a balcony, a very large balcony. And again, you see some other bits of furniture, very, very old, chock full of dust. A lot of them have like some of them are broken furniture, a few chairs that have definitely seen better days. But you see a couple of other doorways in this den area, kind of near the turret. You see one that opens up to a second balcony, one door that's actually ajar right now, and it kind of opens into a hallway as well. Actually, more importantly, how about this? Because I'm just going to use my DM brain for just a moment. You guys do spend the better part of 2 hours exploring everything. You have the map for the actual manor room and the tap room, so you kind of get a good idea about how everything looks, as opposed to trying to slowly kind of go through each and every room. But as you guys look, again, it's mostly just dirt, detritus, a lot of dust. It's going to take a lot of, it's definitely going to take like a 1980s cleaning montage or maybe even two to clean them up. Oh, don't laugh, Megan. You couldn't even list 5 80s movies right now, could you? Yeah, that's what I
could
thought.
No,
list
but
them,
that's not the point.
I'm sure she could list them, but has she seen them?
Fair. So yeah, so as you guys go through, that's basically what you see. There's a lot of the windows again have been boarded over, covered up. One or two that don't seem to be boarded up are definitely broken. There's a few holes and whatnot. So yeah, that's it's basically it in a nutshell.
Making our way all the way up to the attic. And actually it looks like it might be off of the 3rd floor bedroom that leads up into the turret peak.
Yep.
Is that a closed in turret? Like the turret still has a roof up there. It's just the topmost section of it.
Yeah, so the 3rd floor has a trap door, and that trap door has a ladder to the very top of the turret. The turret peak itself, it's not a flat turret. It actually does kind of go up into a very steep, kind of a steeple type.
Are the windows intact up here?
Mostly. A few of them are boarded up, and even the ones that aren't boarded up aren't really broken. They're very like smoky. They're very like kind of grimy. Definitely need to be cleaned.
I'm gonna try to open one of the windows on the turret.
Sure. Yeah, you managed to get one open. It's stiff. The metal work is a bit tough to kind of open, but you manage to kind of force it a little bit, and a bit of fresh air comes in, bit of sunshine.
And I lean out the window and I call out, Anna!
You see a few individuals kind of look up, and they're kind of looking at you like, what? And they kind of go back to walking.
Oh, I absolutely wave to them. Six is just over the moon about this place.
Yeah.
Hello! If you see Anna, tell her to come home.
So
one person's like, right. Sorry, what was that, Bevyn?
Yeah. So as we make our way up to the third floor, I stumble into the library area, and I just immediately settle down. Like, okay, this is more my speed. It's away from the people,
and this seems to be an area. The library and study seem to be an area that is kind of untouched. You look for dust, but you can't find anything. It's like one individual kept this place sparkling clean. There isn't a cobweb there. Even the windows are like perfectly clean, not boarded up. It's nice to see. Right now the sun's not quite on that side of the house yet, so it's still kind of a bit shady. But you can get like a nice view, since on the third floor it's higher up than the other buildings. You get a nice view of the kind of easterly side of Waterdeep. You see, more and more homes. Kind of like a bit more in the distance. You see some of the walls protecting Waterdeep, and just little trails of smoke, kind of a blackened smoke, keeping like kind of just intermingling with with kind of the thick autumn air.
and as I get over to the window, I look out. I'm kind of looking to see if I can see any sign of Anna at all. Definitely it's been a couple hours, and starting to get concerned that she hasn't turned back up.
Okay.
Then I'll kind of do this thing where I look around to make sure nobody was looking, and just can't have anybody see that I'm concerned. And then I'll continue looking around the room.
Sure. Make me a perception check. And Anna, if you want to remain hidden, make a, well, would you be in that area, or do you think that you would want to not be hidden anymore?
I don't think that she would actively be trying to hide anymore, but she just doesn't want to be back right now. There's another thing that she wants to do before she goes back.
Sure.
But she would just be kind of wandering around right now.
All right. And what you get for your perception?
11.
You see nothing. Well, other than the throng of people kind of moving in and out of Troll Skull Alley, shopping. One thing you do note is you do see a shop that you didn't quite see on your way in. It looks to be a wood carver's shop, and you see a few chairs, and you see a post with this nail that's got to be at least about 10, 12 inches long, buried into this plain signpost, and the nail is bent at about a 45-degree angle. You can just make out from your position this individual who seems to be planing a piece of wood. You see a few wooden shields kind of resting up against kind of the side of this workshop. You see a few bows hanging on racks, and you also see some furniture kind of like gathered up as a kind of a display piece or display pieces. And back into the study, you see, there's plenty of different books. You see books like with all different types of titles, from the Troll Wars to the history of Waterdeep, history of Waterdavian nobles. You see history of guilds. There's like a lot of books of history, a lot of books about different creatures. You actually see one book, this large black leather book with a very familiar name. It says Volo's Guide to Monsters, kind of embossed in a silvery, very fanciful script.
Is there furniture in this room or no?
There is, yes, and the furniture is there you go. The furniture is nicely dusted. Like there's no dust on any of the furniture. You see a few like thick plush leather couches. You see a couple of writing desks. Kind of like wandering around and playing with stuff. You notice that there's a quill in an ink pot. Pulling it out, you see that the ink pot is still wet. So the ink hasn't dried in it.
So Bevyn is very much into this room. He's going to grab Volo's Book of Monsters off of the shelf and just go sit down and start leafing through. Just kind of thinking to himself, wants to, this weird guy that we've met, want to get into his head and see what this is, and just kind of enjoy this clean, quiet room that I've found.
All right. Then I can give you 3 minutes to actually rifle through Volo's Guide to Monsters as you're sitting there playing, if you want. I don't know. But anyway, so what about you, Kiara? What are you like kind of focusing on?
I think at first it's, Six is up screaming at the top of the turret. And I'm going to actually start looking around the bedroom a little bit and sort of taking note of the layout and everything, and just looking to see if it might be a fitting place for me to sort of rest my head, so to speak.
Sure. So as you are no doubt aware, like the second floor, which would kind of be like the main floor of the area with the common room, the hall where it says hall, it's kind of like a dining hall. So you do see like a kind of a long table. You notice the spare room has an adjoining fireplace with the bedroom. So it's you can actually walk through it, but it's a double fireplace. The bedroom here, there's the master bedroom, which has its own private bathroom. It's quite nice. There's a couple of like, sorry, when I say bathroom, I mean a room with a large clawfoot tub in it. There are 2 privies, which are the WCs for those in Europe, or toilets in North America. And of course, you have the library study. Then there's the other bedroom with with a door into the kind of turret access to the very top, where Six is screaming at the top of his lungs.
Yeah, I think that's the bedroom that I'll probably be most drawn to because of the turret factor, so I can like go up and check and see what's going on discreetly and see if anyone's around the house at all.
And you do see so in that bedroom, it's an L-shaped bedroom that does also have a private bath. The bedroom itself being like, even though it's L-shaped, it has like this beautifully intricately carved fireplace mantle of stone, and it seems to almost be like, it looks to be like it was done up in a motif of nature. So you see like vines made out of stone. Like, this is incredibly delicate work, almost impossible for any standard individual to carve. So it's almost like it must have been through magic that this mantle was created. And you see like kind of deer that you could almost swear are actually moving across the mantle in a full run, along with like various other animals and other like kind of trees. The two kind of main colonnades that kind of surround the hearth are actually like 2 large oak trees, but again carved from stone. It's a very beautiful, very serene looking fireplace.
because of the fireplace itself, I'm basically going to set up shop in this particular bedroom because the fireplace is making it feel almost instantly like home for me. And I'm just going to sort of like just start putting a couple little possessions that I've had tucked away on my person, just something maybe like on the side table, a little something here and there, just to sort of start claiming it as my own. But then I think I'm probably going to feel almost this desire to want to go and visit that temple that we had passed by before of Tamora's, simply because we're in this new venture and I want to be sure that we have luck on our side.
Fair enough. From what you can see, you can actually see the Tower of Luck, which is Timora's temple, and you can almost see it. It looks to be like it would be about a 15-minute walk from Troll Skull Manor, or Nobody's Inn, and you can see the like kind of large golden pennants with like kind of like these embossed coins. Even in the distance, it just seems to be this kind of like a bright spot in what seems to be a very drab city, at least in your eyes.
I'm gonna go in quickly. Obviously, Six is just doing his thing. I'm not even gonna bother. So I'm going to sort of backtrack and see if I can find Bevyn quickly, just to let him know where I intend to go, so we're not looking for two different people at the same time.
Sure thing. Okay, Anna, where are you and what are you doing? You wanted to do one more thing.
What time is it about?
I would say right now it's probably around 3 p.m.
And are the streets... She's just walking. She's just looking. She has this need that she's just trying to focus on that to get the image out of her mind. And so she's looking at the people, she's looking at the houses, she's looking to see if any one of them might have an open window, if any of them seem to be empty. So she's just on the lookout for that.
You see most of the homes are kind of like they have like fences, like not large fences, but they have like, kind of knee-high fences, kind of metal made out of iron with kind of like a, kind of that spiky kind of motif, that most nicer homes have. You see a lot of people walking though. There are servants kind of rushing back and forth, bringing food back to a lot of these people's homes. You see a couple of more well-to-do individuals kind of taking in just like walks before dinner. So yeah, there's a couple of them.
So she's just scanning and she's looking. This might be a bit too busy of a place to go into someone's home. So she wants to look for something else, maybe a shop or a temple or something where there's a lot of people.
Okay. As far as shops go, for the shops that I've had mentioned, there really isn't a lot of like a large group of shops that are gathered. These are all very small boutiques, but there are a lot of people like wandering around and and picking up like little things. There's a small little grocer that has a few like some apples, a few basically like basic food. Other than that though, there's a lot of very like boutique kind of shops. So I mean, other than people walking around, that's kind of it.
She would try and find someone who looked wealthy but not fast.
Sure. Make me an investigation check, because you're actively looking for someone.
Okay, that's a 14.
You do see one individual, but although he seems to be a bit older and maybe not quite as spry as you, he does seem to be walking with a bit more authority. He seems to be walking with a bit more, definitely he's going somewhere. So
she's going to try and pickpocket him by doing the whole bumping into him. She's just going to walk right into him. And while she does, she's going to use that contact in order to kind of look into his pockets without him noticing. With a, oh, I'm such an idiot. I'm sorry. I didn't see where I was going.
Well, all right. This is a thing that's going to happen. Okay. Roll me. You're going to make me 2 rolls.
Okay.
First roll, you're going to make me a sleight of hand check.
Can I use a domain dice?
This seems like an appropriate time to use that.
Okay. All right. That's an 18.
Okay. And now I'd like you to make me a performance check.
That's a 14.
Okay. Bumping into him, he almost drops his some parcel that he's got in his hand, and he looks at you disdainfully and says, "Do watch it, young lady. How dare you bumping into me? Excuse me." And he kind of almost puts a hand out to get you to move, and he kind of moves off. And as he kind of walks away, you kind of turn around and you see that you have the pouch that he had on the side of his belt in your hand. And give me 1 second, because I'm going to tell you how much you got. Nice. As you open it up, you look and you find 33 gold pieces in a bit. So you have 33 dragons. You can add that to your monies.
Anna lets out this breath of calm, of contentment almost. And with this smirk, she starts back towards Squirrel, or Nobody's Inn, and she's kind of walking along and whistling.
Okay. And you walk now. Are you going to go back into the tavern? Or are you going to try and find another way to the kind of residence area?
She's going to make sure she's very neurotic in that she's going to make sure that nobody saw, that, no one's trailing her or anything like that. But she's just going to, if no one is, she's going to go into the front door. Okay.
Into the tavern area or into the
tavern. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Make me a quick perception check as you're walking, kind of moving through the crowds.
Yeah, that's a 15.
Okay. You see a guardsman walking in your direction, kind of towards the tavern. Just going to keep walking.
She's
right.
Gonna hide the pouch, and she's
Sure.
Gonna keep walking.
Sure. Now, how about the three of you? Are you guys still kind of rocking it?
I'm just still sitting in my study reading my book.
Go.
I'm gonna poke my head in just to let him know. I'm just going to go out for a little bit, but I promise I'll be back before it gets dark.
Right? On your way then.
All right. If I see Anna, I'll send it back.
See you in a
How about
bit.
you, Six?
At this point, I'm no longer hollering. I've kind of settled on the floor, and I've got my arms up on the windowsill, my chin kind of leaning, and I'm just a cat in the window. It's really bothering me that Anna's gone for so long. As much as we seem to have a competitive spirit, there's something about Anna that well, all of the people really that Six is surrounded with, that he's forming an attachment to them, and so it bothers him that Anna's not back. Mostly, it's kind of a selfish, like, I really want to show her all around the house, and there's a couple of rooms that haven't been cleaned, and I know which one I want, but I kind of want to let her have choice. So I'm literally just sitting there like this. I love that I can do that in my little window here.
So as you make it back into the tavern, Anna, you kind of go in. You see that it is the same as it was. Door is slightly ajar. There's dirt, there's detritus, standard. You don't see any blood. Seeing no one in there, what would you like to do?
She would kind of hold on to this pouch that she has, and she would go into it and hold out a gold piece and kind of play with it in her hand, is kind of this fidgeting. She would walk upstairs away from the bar area.
Okay. And as you leave and you turn around, you see the guardsman now beginning to walk behind you and following you. And as you're going up the stairs, he begins to go up the stairs as well. He calls out, "Excuse me.
Can I help you?
Are you one of the residents in this domicile?"
Yeah.
Right. I'd like to come in, please.
Why?
Because I am a member of the God of Waterdeep, and I would like to come in.
I just don't see why you need to. We're not open yet.
Right. Please head up. I'll be in the common room. And he begins to walk, and he is walking right at you up the stairs.
She would not move, but she is going to speak very loudly and hoping that the others hear her.
Would I have seen her approach since I've been sitting up in the window watching for her, or did she come from a different direction?
You know what? I'm gonna give this to you because I think you have a very high passive perception, do you not?
13.
You know what? I'm gonna give it to you because it would have been a 10 anyway. So yeah, you probably would have seen her coming around eventually to go up the guard, kind of right behind.
So I imagine, because I'm up in that turret and I got to drop down and come down another floor, that I'm probably getting to the common room then about the time Anna's talking loudly.
Okay.
Yeah, Anna would not move as the guard comes up.
All right. And
Did we? Would I have been able to? I'm on the third floor in the other side. I don't know if I'd be able to hear.
If I was on my way out, would I have encountered them at all, or am I already off the premises?
You're probably on your way as Six is bounding down, running because he saw Anna coming up. So you two would probably almost collide into each other as you both get into the common room around the same time.
I'm just gonna follow the commotion.
Sure. Anna, what do you say to this guardsman? loudly.
Well, I don't know who you are, but you will have to wait until the owners of this establishment come and greet you.
Are you not a resident of this domicile?
I live here. Don't mean I own it.
And you could hear like this kind of deep sigh. And he kind of walks around you. Even though it's a tight stairwell, he begins to walk around you with his glaive, his longsword, and his shield, and his chainmail armor as he is going up the stairs. He takes his shield and taps it against the door.
I would probably be making a beeline for the door, mostly because I don't know who Anna's talking to, but I just want to see Anna as I open the door, and about the time this guard is knocking against the door.
And you are met with a very tall, stone-faced looking human guard. He is wearing standard helmet, standard armor, but like heavier armor. You can definitely tell, much like when you ran into the kind of heavier guardsmen in the warehouse. So he has on like fighting gear. He stands up. He says, "Excuse me, Master Teknoaxe. Are you the owner, resident of this establishment?"
I kind of look back over my shoulder. Well, as a matter of fact, I am one of the owners of this establishment. What can I do for you, sir?
Are there 4 owners of this establishment?
The 4 of us all have an equal stake in this place, yes.
Right. I have a message for you. And he kind of holds, like out of his surcoat, he just kind of pulls out a small note and hands it to you.
Okay.
Right. Thank you, sir. Have a pleasant day. And he turns around.
Are you a member of the couriers?
He doesn't even talk to you. He just turns around and walks down the stairs, around Anna, back down, and then away, back onto.
She's yelling at him like, "Now how hard was that? You could have just said instead of being a weirdo, like."
Anna.
What?
I am fairly certain, though he was doing the job of a courier, he looks like a guard. Maybe you should not talk so sternly to him. And where have you been? I have been worried sick about... I was up in the window looking for you all day. I can't pick my room until you pick your room.
Ah.
That's the most adorable thing I've ever heard. Not even gonna lie.
Right. Well, while you guys were doing whatever, I was getting us some funds for the manor. And she kind of holds up this pouch, kind of jingles it a little bit.
At this point, I'm going to stick my head around Six's form. So you found yourself some luck, it seems, have you?
You could say that. Yeah.
Well, this one's been rather upset of your absence, and we have been somewhat concerned about you. And I will say that Bevyn as well seems to be worried about your being out and about by yourself. So perhaps best just to let him know you're all right. I, however, need to make my way to the temple. I'll be back in a little bit. Do make sure they don't get into too much trouble while I'm gone.
Don't you want to know what's in this letter before you go?
Well, quickly, yes, but I do want to try and get to the temple before it gets too dark.
So Bevyn's going to sidle up as they're ending their little chat here. I'm just going to kind of peek around Six and just kind of like nod questioningly at Anna. It's just, hey, everything okay?
And hey, Bev, got some funds. And she rings the bag.
He just kind of smiles and nods and relaxes.
That reminds me. We still have to figure out our money situation. We've got all these coin from the and I kind of look to make sure that guard is well on his way.
Oh yeah, he's you don't even see him anymore. He's gone.
I still do the stage whisper. From the stuff we sold earlier. But don't you stand out there, Anna. You should come inside. We've got lots of broken up furniture in here that we could probably put into the fireplaces. We need to get some fires going.
Or better yet, we could burn this whole place down. She kind of laughs. I'm just joking. And she goes in.
There's a quiet desperation to your laugh. It makes me a bit uneasy. I'm gonna open up this note.
Sure. As you flip the note to the back to open it up, you see a small wax seal. On the wax seal, you see 7 keys with what looks to be a castle in the background. So it seems to be a kind of fancy thing. You crack it open. As you kind of open up this small note, it reads, "You did good work cleaning up the streets from the Zents and Xanathar. If the safety of Waterdeep and its citizens are important to you, meet me in the Yawning Portal." And it is signed, Gelester Silvermane.
So I would absolutely read that. Read that out loud. And
we're going to actually go right to Kiara. Kiara, you've stepped out. I assume now, did you step out before? Or did you wanted to hear the note before, right?
Yeah, as soon as you said Silvermane, I'm walking out the door, though.
Okay. So as you begin to walk out, and you begin to walk kind of, I don't know if you're going to follow along on the map, but you kind of go out Serdone Street down to Delzorin, and you begin walking straight past Delzorin. Walking there for a little while, you see a lot of people moving, and as per usual, many carts, especially hitting the high road, Copper Street, Shield Street, Soul Street, Mendeavor Street. And as you begin to walk past Mendeavor Street, you get an uncomfortable feeling, and you remember this area, especially as you see the sign that says Delzorin Street and Diamond Street on the corner.
I'm actually going to, before I go any further, because of this feeling I'm starting to get, I'm actually going to disguise myself.
Okay.
And take on the look of an old crone with her hood pulled up.
All right. Really quick, I'm going to see how lucky or unlucky you are. I'm going
to get it pulled up.
Jake, can you please roll me a D100 and do not say don't say the result yet.
Let's see. I will use these dice. Feel. Oh, that doesn't have that. Okay, I'll do this one. Where's my other D10? Okay, I'm rolling. I've rolled.
Okay. Megan, give me a number from 1 to 100.
82.
What is the number, Jake?
78.
Ooh.
As you begin to walk by in your guise, you kind of look to your left and you see this very prominent, very austere looking villa to your left, and you know it well. You and I know it, but the other kids don't need to know about it. And as you walk past, You see this kind of individual. He seems to be a servant of sorts, or a something. But you see him walking with an arm laden full of stuff, and he goes, "Hi, Gran. You look just like me Gran. By the gods, you're me Gran. But you're dead." And he's saying it louder and louder, and tears are welling up into his eyes, and he even begins to like drop some of the produce, and he's shouting now, "You're me Gran. I missed you." And he grabs you, embraces you in this big hug, and he starts just to like openly weep. And you can feel his whole chest heaving and sobbing as he's embracing you.
Oh, dearie, what was your Gran's name? Darling love, I can assure you, I'm not your Gran. I never had any children of me own.
You remind me of me Gran.
I had a cousin who looked much like me. What was your Gran's name?
Myrtle.
Oh, wee one, yes. Myrtle was my long lost cousin. How long ago did she pass, dear?
2 winters ago.
Oh, that breaks my heart. She was such a lively one, too.
And you see kind of a few people are starting to kind of turn their heads and look. There's an individual who seems to almost glide. Like he doesn't seem to walk, but he seems to glide up to the gates of this villa and looks out. And give me 1 second here. No. He looks for a moment and like kind of shakes his head back and forth and just kind of like seems to glide away. Well, I'm terribly sorry, Miss. I know you're probably busy, but thank you.
Oh, darling, no. What's your name, sweetheart?
Oh, my name's Nettle.
Nettle. Oh, Nettle, I'm sorry for giving you such a start. It weren't my intention.
Oh, it's all right, miss. It's just the time of year, and all sorts of spirits like to linger in Waterdeep, and it's quite all right. I'm terribly sorry. I hope I didn't ruin your nice cloak.
Oh, not at all, dear. I just found out I have some family in the area again.
Oh, that would be quite nice. Maybe I might invite you over for a spot of tea, and you can visit my missus and I guess the wee ones.
I would absolutely love to do that. My name's Gilda.
Nice to meet you, Gilda.
Well, how lucky we were to encounter each other, but I'm sorry, my dear, but I do need to go. I have a pressing appointment coming up.
Right you are, miss, and a pleasant day to you. And he picks up his stuff and he begins to walk out. Really dodged a bullet there.
I'm going to pull my hood up a little bit tighter over my cloak and hurry on to the temple.
No problem. And then as you pass Delzorn, you go up the street of the Singing Dolphin. Swear to God, not even making that up. And you see now the temple, the Tower of Luck.
And I'm going to head in.
And as you go to open the door, you open it, and this is not a temple. It's a gambling hall. You see tables upon tables of people playing games of chance, and there are people like yelling and cheering and everything else, and there are individuals playing it, but this seems off to you. Something seems really weird, because there are things here that you see that you've never seen before. You see wheels of chance, and normally in wheels of chance, when people spin the wheel, you see a crown, you see a stars, you see so on and so forth, and people bet on symbols to come up. But this one, you see words written: find true love, get a new job, be happy for a day, be happy for 3 days. And this individual who looks very familiar to you is sitting down and bringing the next person up, and sits them down and spinning the wheel. And you see finding true love, and the person's so happy, like tears are in their eyes, and she kind of like puts her hand on her and you know, kind of brings the next person in. You see a few people dicing, and people are just cheering, and they're taking their winnings, and you see them putting it right back into a donation pot. This elven woman comes up to you and says, welcome to the Tower of Luck. Wait, before we go, here you are. And she grabs a stack of silver coins and hands them to you. If this is your first time here, we have Ace in the corner here, and we have Wheels of Chance. Are you looking for a blessing today?
Well, I was hoping for a blessing, but this is a new view for me. I'm new to the area, you see.
Oh, well, please come in, enjoy yourself, and may Time Mora bless you this day. Thank you. And she kind of goes off to with another basket. And again, you see everyone who is winning, like all their winnings are just going right back into this basket. The individual who is sitting at this wheel looks over at you, and you recognize her right away. She is the small halfling woman who was running the tavern when you were coming up. She kind of holds off and grabs someone else to take her place. She kind of like potters up to you. Have you dropped your guys yet?
Mm-mm.
So she looks at you and goes, oh, I know you. I was wondering when you were going to show up.
Well, you might say I got waylaid just a slight little bit, and this is just to travel the streets a little bit more incognito, although not quite as I'd hoped.
I know, dearie, I know. You are going to have to face them sooner or later.
I was hoping for much later, if possible.
No. Sadly, you're going to have to fight them. And it's going to be a fight for many souls. Not just yours. And then she puts... For being a halfling, for some weird reason, she puts her hand on your shoulder. You're going to need all the help you can get. And then just for a minute, your eyes open. You sit up in the bedroom that you were just admiring the beautiful fireplace for. And that's where we're going to end this session.
I love you, Mike.
You brat.
And I'm not going to drop this too expensive. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us in this session of All That Glitters. Oh my goodness, I'm very excited because I cannot wait for doing more of this awesome, open-ended, do what you want. And you know, it's funny because I remember the first time I ever kind of played in a sandbox, like, hey, do whatever you want. I didn't know what to do. It was the weirdest thing. I'm like, freedom? There's too much freedom, too much freedom. Give me a direction. But this is the way I love to run games. I say, hey, whatever you want, whatever story you want to tell is limited only by your imagination as a player. It is only limited by your ambitions and your desires and what you want to achieve from the City of Splendors. And I hope that you will all be able to tune in next Monday when we can find out more about these characters and more about this hidden awesomeness that is Waterdeep. Gosh, I love this city. This is such a cool city. But anyway, I'm going to talk. I've talked way the heck too much. So I'm going to let these awesome cats talk. So I'm going to shut up.
I absolutely want to thank everybody who's tuned in. For the majority of the stream, it belongs to our DM, Mike. But I, in addition to being a player, I am the host and producer of this stream. But I do not mind taking a player's chair in a Mike the Piper campaign, especially an open world one. There was a time when I don't think I could actually play an open world game like this very well, because I would have that kind of paralysis. But when you kind of learn to just embrace your character and be your character and do, what the name implies, the R and the P in role-playing game is just role-play. You play off of each other and you just do whatever comes naturally. So I want to echo what Mike said. I just think it's awesome to get to play in Waterdeep. I've always been fascinated by this city. It's awesome to be able to bring this game to Twitch and YouTube and have so many people that have joined us from the beginning. If you watch, I try not to interrupt the flow of the game, but if you watch during the course of the game, you'll see the domain dice going up and down as we use them. Gamers Theater re-upped for 3 months in a row. So that's where I tacked on another domain die there near the end. We also had earned one earlier. Scraticus rated the channel with 19 viewers earlier in the channel, so we got another one there. And of course, you can donate bits and bucks for domain dice, which will be getting a bit of a makeover in the next stream or two. And of course, you can tune in, as Mike said, every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on Mondays for All That Glitters. Tune in at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on Thursday for our Sunless Citadel game. Although this Thursday, we are down 2 players because, as V's going to tell you in a minute where she's going to be, but both V and Scotty are going to be absent this week. So Megan and Jeremy and I are going to gather up a couple people, and we're going to do something. Because I just remembered I have to come up with a one-shot for that day. So, so we'll get that figured out. And then, of course, on Sunday nights, we just had episode 31. We're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of our Cult of Personality Tomb of Annihilation campaign. And we had a guest star last night that is available here on the YouTube side of things, where all of these games will reside almost immediately after they're done. 2 final things. Nope, just one final thing. You can head over to Drive-Thru RPG, and if you search for, I'm not even going to make you search. I'm just going to drop a link. I'm going to drop a link in the chat for Adventure Mixtape, a music and adventure anthology that I co-wrote with the Arcane Library, Burlingsbeard, and Sharang Biswas. It is a collection of 4 adventures that you can play in games like Waterdeep or in your own campaign. V.
Hello, I am V, and the mysterious place that Jake was referring to is I'm going to be at Mace with Scotty, which is why Sunless Citadel is not happening this week. So it's something I'm looking forward to doing. And on Friday night, there's actually going to be a big crafters game. We are, fingers crossed, going to be able to live stream that. So that means on Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, please hop over to the DM's Crafts channel on YouTube. And you're going to be seeing DM Scotty, Wylock, myself, DM Jim, as well as Danny from 3D Printed Tabletop. I think I got that one right. Everyone's changing the names lately. But we're all going to be playing a game. And the cool thing is we're being joined by 3 special guests who won their seats through an auction. So it should be pretty fun. It's called One Night in Richter's Cemetery. So ooh, should be a lot of fun. So join us over there at Scotty's channel on Friday. And there's going to be other stuff going on the whole weekend. So do make sure to check out our Facebook pages as well as the Tabletop Crafters Guild's group, because I'm sure we're going to be posting some updates in there as well.
Dwight?
I have nothing going on, so just come check me out on the Twitter there. Again, I'll be streaming before too long, hopefully. Go vote tomorrow. Go vote tomorrow. Go vote tomorrow.
Unless you're watching this later on VOD and it's not Tuesday, but definitely vote tomorrow.
Build a time machine, go back in time, and vote tomorrow.
Do that option. That's so much better. Megan.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Megan, and this is such a cool campaign. I haven't played in many campaigns, but I've never played in one that's really sandboxy and where everyone's background like comes to the forefront, and I think that is just so amazing, and I'm so looking forward to see, and I think it'll create such like deeper characters and deeper relationships. So I'm just so pumped to see what everyone has in store.
I'm probably gonna hunt a bison, legendary bison, at some point next week. So
Dwight's doing whatever he can to bring Red Dead Redemption into Waterdeep.
Might go fishing. Probably hit up the general store.
All right, Mike, if you don't have anything else you want, or rather, do you have anything else?
Oh, no, I pressed the wrong button. That's okay. You know what? I'm Anna now.
I'm Mike.
Look at me. I'm the Anna now.
There you go.
Hi, I'm Mike, and before I was right up there, but now I came down here. You can follow me over there where it says at Mike Thepiper, right above Dwight's beautiful, beautiful head. That's pretty much it. I'm glad that everyone's having a great time, and I cannot wait to explore more of the City of Splinters and find new and awesome ways to torture my players. That was my outside voice. Damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yep, you forgot to say it in here.
The problem with the inner monologue, it just doesn't work.
All right, well, thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. Be sure to hit those subscribe buttons, those follow buttons, and the little bell dinger on YouTube, so you can be notified when we start live streaming. Everybody's handles are up above our heads on Twitter, where you can also have an opportunity to play with Mini Terrain Domain and upcoming one-shots. But until next time, I'm going to leave you with the same way we leave you after every stream, and you can say it with me if you want.
Shoot, I hit it wrong. Wait.